I grew up in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago, Garfield Boulevard, which was sort of a famous boulevard. It was the gateway to one of the first World's Fairs. And my folks had a lounge, or tavern, if you will, that was really well known. All these entertainers would come over to our place and hang out till the wee small hours of the morning. So it was rich with jazz, with blues, with just social statements that people made about life. I got to a point, I think it was my second year in high school, where your friends start saying, well, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I'm trying to figure, well, what am I going to be? And all of a sudden it came to me, do what you do best. As soon as I discovered that I was going to be an artist, something clicked in me. Everything just took off for me. I had a stroke in '95. And, I spent a week at Harbor, and the next thing I looked at, they said, they're going to Rancho. And I said, where is that? As much as I could, because I could hardly talk. The thing about my stroke, because I think every stroke is different, there was no pain. But there was just a total loss of feeling on this side, like half of me had died. But I would never forget being on a wheel down the hall and trying to figure out where I was going to go with my life, because I realized that my career was in jeopardy with the stroke. Having lost just the absolute right side of my body when I got here, was a big trauma for me, because that was the hand that I used to work with, draw with all my life. And I had to come to terms with, well, what am I going to do now? And the wonderful thing about coming to Rancho was that even though with all the activity, people hustling, bustling about here, there was a certain essence to this place, which I say is love. And one of the things about being at Rancho is that not only is the staff dedicated, there's a love factor. And I think that all contributes to a healthier environment in terms of rehab. I think that's what makes Rancho one of the top places in the world, as far as I'm concerned. People love what they do here. This place has been around since, what, over 100 years? There's a reason for that. It was once called the poor farm. And it still helps people who can't really manage to take care of themselves. I mean, just the therapists that I worked with here were so great to me, helped me get used to this right arm again, right side again, because it started to slowly come back. I started drawing while I was here again, trying to work with my left hand. And it took a lot of adjustment to come to terms with where I was at. I was in bed at Rancho here on a Sunday, and somebody had brought me a sketchbook, but I hadn't picked it up or anything. There was a photograph of Johnny Cochran on the LA Times magazine. And so I said, I'm gonna try and draw this face with my left hand. And I'm sitting there and I'm starting to squiggly little lines. I have very little control, but all of a sudden I start to see an image face, and all of a sudden I'm going, I can do this. I can do this with my left hand. And I was amazed. The necessity becomes the mother of invention. And I began to use control and gain some control with my left hand. And it just kind of opened my world back up again. I said, well, there's possibilities with this. The gift is still here that I was given. And I mean, that was important to me, because to me, art was a gift from the Creator. The Art of Rancho program is wonderful. But man, working with those kids, Because Robert and I thought, well, we'll have a couple of kids that can really do some great things. And that first class just blew me away. I mean, every student in that class had a certain quality of genius, had a certain passion, whether large or small, to want to do something, and that was a wonderful experience to even see that happen. We didn't think we would have, 13, 14 kids who would just turn out some really beautiful work. I'm so proud of those kids, I mean, it's wonderful. But what it's done is give a lot of these kids a passion and desire to do some quality work and find something that they can believe in. And I think that's a real important part of recovery. I'm amazed at what they can do. It's one of the best experiences in my life.